I'm Katey Rich.
And I'm Sean O'Connell.
And we're standing in front of the White House.
Of all places. Ready to talk about?
White House Down.
White House Down.
We're at the junket for White House Down, obviously. I've interviewed some of the talent already. Sean is still waiting his turn.
I am, but we both saw the film.
Yes, and Sean was at the screening last night in D.C. with some luminaries. I hear the head of the Department of Homeland Security was there.
There were a lot of D.C. dignitaries there. The cast was there. Roland Emmerich showed up.
He didn't blow anything up while he was there.
He didn't blow anybody up, but there was a torrential downpour of water that landed on the crowd. I think it was like a visceral. It's the new like D-box.
I think it was like I think there was the stinger at the end to preview Roland Emmerich's next movie. It's like Nick Fury showing up at the end of the Avengers. Yeah, it's going to be another Poseidon movie.
That's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I had told you that I was a pretty big fan of this movie, and I set you up basically to think that it was really silly but really fun. And did it live up to what I told you?
Oh, absolutely. And it's funny because we were talking about how earlier there's a White House movie that came out already called Olympus Has Fallen, and that has a really angry, sort of dark approach. And this
you may remember the North Koreans knocking down this fence behind us to attack the president. It was pretty intense.
Now that doesn't mean that there isn't a tank, right here that's shooting at the White House, but still, it has that Roland Emmerich sort of lightness, I guess you could call it that, and the fact that it knows that it's a popcorn thriller, it knows it wants to do everything on a huge scale, everybody's dialed into that tone, and it works really well for it because it's slotting itself into that July 4th weekend, and I think if you're very familiar with things that Roland Emmerich has done in the past and other big type July 4th blockbusters, I think it works on that scale.
There's definitely 3 or 4 lines in this movie that are trying to be the Welcome to Earth from Independence Day.
Yes.
It's the kind of movie, I'm talking about it like an Arrested Development episode, where anything set up in the first 10 minutes will come back in the end.
Absolutely.
Everything will have a reference point, and there are a lot of lines that are just so ridiculous that no one would ever say, but you can't help but enjoy it.
But it's Die Hard. I mean, we should say it is totally,
well,
it's
you've
the
seen
Die Hard
Tatum
template.
in the tank top on the poster. It's definitely Die Hard.
And it's just, he's a cop, a DC cop who happens to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. He's on a White House tour when the building gets attacked, and it's just...
He's trying to prove himself to his daughter instead of his wife this time.
Right. I thought that they were a good team. Did you like the two of them together?
Well, it was nice that it's a Die Hard movie, but it also is kind of a buddy cop movie where you've got Jimmie Foxx and Channing Tatum, and it's not like Channing Tatum is just there to save the president who can't do anything. Jimmie Foxx, except for himself, he does a lot too, and they, if anything, I wanted more of their scenes together. I felt like there almost wasn't enough of them.
I also was surprised at how many great character actors are in this film. Richard Jenkins is in it, James Woods is in it,
Reddick.
Maggie Gyllenhaal is a really good scene in it. So, I mean, he definitely populated the cast with people who can carry the luggage when we're not in the action sequences. But there are some mind-blowing action sequences, one involving the Beast, which is this
the presidential limo.
But like 3 of them. It's not just good enough to have one. There's 3 racing around. There's a car chase in the middle of this movie, which I didn't
on the White
expect.
House. And the movie knows how ridiculous that is, and it lets you laugh at it even while you're enjoying the hell out of it.
Yes, it does. And it has a great sort of cheesy countdown sequence to the end of if our hero fails, the world is over.
Yep.
And again, kind of winks at that and says...
And it tells them they have 8 minutes left, and then that scene goes on for like 20 minutes.
Yes,
like, time is kind of flexible in this movie.
But it knows what it wants to do, and that's why I think we're giving it more credit than some people make.
I predict it'll make $1 trillion. How about you?
That's fair. I think that's accurate. Yes, it'll make somewhere between Marvel money and DC money.
Yeah, and Roland Emmerich can blow up as many more buildings as he wants, but this one looks pretty good, so he probably might want to leave this one alone.
Yes,
it's
for the time being. He'll come back around to it, although he's doing Independence Day too.
That's right, so he'll be blowing it up again in a couple years.
And we may be back talking about that
Goodbye,
right
White House. It's
Goodbye.
nice to see you while you lasted, and thank you for watching.